Hi everyone, this video will give you a brief introduction to both myself and to the course that we're fixing to start. My name is Dr. Brooke Buckley. This is my just finished actually, my fourth year at NKU. In the spring I taught Stat 614 online for the first time, so feel free to be relieved that y'all aren't the guinea pigs anymore. The course is designed for an advanced statistics course, not so much mathematically advanced, but more advanced topics than you would normally see in your traditional introductory course. The syllabus has been posted on Blackboard, and if you take a look at that, you'll see several pieces of information that are important. One of the first things that's on the syllabus is some contact information for me. Communication in this course is just a really big deal. As soon as you hit a stumbling block, you need to get in touch with me at some point, because you'll learn early on that everything compounds on top of each other. So you want to make sure that you have a pretty good grasp of that beginning topic before you move on to the next topic. Email is a great way to get in touch with me. For the most part, I'll respond within about 24 hours. So usually if you send me an email, you'll get a response relatively quickly. My office phone number is there. With it being the summer, I'm not sure how often I'll be in my office, but feel free to use that to try to get in touch with me. And the last phone number that's there is a phone number that's provided through Google that will actually ring through to whatever phone I'm closest to. You can also use it to send text messages if you prefer that form of communication instead. If you feel the need to meet with me at any point on campus, I'm sure that I can arrange that. For the most part, I'll be near campus for most of the summer. And there's also a chat program, Wimba Pronto, that's available through Blackboard. I do have that downloaded, and if you'd like to set up a time for me to get on there and chat with you, that would be more than available. There's two textbooks that we'll use for the course. The first is Statistical Methods for Healthcare Research. Just to give you a little background into that textbook, it is the primary text of the course, and I'm fully aware that it's not the best textbook that's ever been written. One thing that you'll learn early on in this class is that we do very little hand calculation. Most everything is done through the statistical program StatCrunch, which we'll talk about in just a second. And most of the textbooks that you find for a course like this are incredibly heavy on the mathematical side of things. We're not going to focus on the math. So this textbook does use a lot of words. I'm going to supplement that with my own notes and examples. So I hope that between all of that, you can kind of get a cohesive structure for the course. Like I said, if at any point you have questions about what's presented in the textbook, please let me know. You'll see in the notes that there's only certain pages that I expect you to read, so don't get overwhelmed with that additional material that's provided in the text. The second book that we'll use is Statistics for Healthcare Research. This is a workbook. There are excerpts from journal articles presented in the workbook. There's study questions with solutions that are given, and then there's actually workbook exercises. So you'll notice on the third page of the syllabus there is a daily schedule that's kind of laid out, and there's workbook assignments that will be due. Those will be posted to Blackboard, but it is going to correspond to certain exercises out of this workbook. The statistical software that we're going to use is StatCrunch. There will be a video introduction to StatCrunch posted on Blackboard as well. StatCrunch is a fairly user-friendly interface. It's very much menu-driven, and you'll find that we use it extensively. So what will be required is a 6-month subscription to the program, and that's at a cost of $9.95. This really is something, though, that you'll use for all extended assignments and on a relatively daily basis, if I were guessing. So the cost is actually rather minimal for the amount of time you'll put into that program. The additional information is given on the syllabus. You can kind of read through that. The one thing I did want to kind of mention is what the format of the course will be. So the graded component of the course has 3 different components to it. The first will be 4 extended assignments that are spaced every 2 weeks during the 8-week session. The extended assignment is kind of like an exam, except it will be using your notes and your books, whatever you have, as long as it's not each other. The extended assignment will consist of questions that are very similar to those seen in the workbook, in addition to 2 data analysis questions that will rely on the use of StatCrunch. To help you prepare for these extended assignments, there will be workbook assignments given regularly, and there will also be this class participation component of your grade. In the class participation component, you'll be generating reports in StatCrunch. So there's quite a bit of emphasis in this class on writing and communication of statistical results, which, if you wind up doing a master's project, is what you're going to have to rely on. So the class participation part of it is just this requirement that you post in every 2 weeks at least 3 StatCrunch reports to the group. And I realize that right now you're not familiar with StatCrunch, you're not familiar with what the groups are, and you're not familiar with creating reports, but I promise that all of it will come relatively easily. Now, these reports aren't graded. They're simply there for me to make comments on, to improve your work, and also for your classmates to look at. So there will be this component of peer review that's built in with a comment structure that you can use. The last page of the syllabus gives you a pretty detailed course outline that we're going to try to stick to. You'll notice that I've posted things on Tuesdays and Fridays. That was an easy schedule for me to follow, and it gave you a decent amount of time in between those days for you to work on assignments, get material worked out, etc. So you'll notice on every day there's something that will be due, except for June the 1st. We are going to skip that first day. The first assignment that's due is an email to me that's just an introduction to yourself. Nothing super long, nothing formal. Concerns you may have going into the course, anything that you feel like I can address. In addition to registering for StatCrunch. That's where this second YouTube video will be posted that's going to come in quite a bit handy. One thing that I should mention, the university has changed some software, and I'm hopeful that I won't have to post things to YouTube after Tuesday. I'm going to a training on that, so I'm thinking that maybe we can skip the YouTube posts. I apologize for having to switch things halfway through. I hope that it's a rather seamless transition. If any technical difficulties that you might have, IT on campus is definitely the place to address those. I do not pretend to be able to answer those questions. So this kind of an introduction into the course. I realize it was quick and it was fast. If you have any questions on the information that's in the video or that's posted on the syllabus, please let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to a great summer session.